Next we have Anhad Singh.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, Hindi Chadar, the ninth Guru of the Sikhs, took his final stand on November 11th, 1675, in order to uphold the basic human and religious rights of the Kashmiri Pandits. At a time when such a thing was unheard of, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was able to look beyond the superficial boundaries of caste and practices and help preserve beliefs that didn't align with those he himself preached. There was no expectation from the Kashmiri Pandits forcing Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji to sacrifice his life for their cause. But even then, at the behest of a young Gobind Rai, he made his choice. No one would have halted him. In fact, that decision would have been the technically correct one in regards to the future of Sikhi. But Guruji wasn't concerned with the technically correct aspect of life. None of the Gurus were, had been, or ever would be. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji chose to be morally and integrally correct in lieu of solely looking out for his own people. Guruji could have turned them away and told them that his Sikhs needed him, his Sangat needed him at that time, and that he couldn't help. The Sikhs were a strong enough force at the time that they didn't need to fear persecution as much as the Brahmins and Hindus did. He would have been perfectly fine with his own Sikhs around him and without the acts of religious persecution hanging over his head. Instead, he recognized that moment as one of brotherly compassion and religious unity, embracing his martyrdom with open arms, and in doing so, declaring Hindus and Sikhs as one against the inequitable operations of the Mughals. He didn't even wait for the Mughals to come to him. He began the journey to them, alongside by Mati Das Ji, by Sati Das Ji, and by Dayala Ji. Upon their arrival, Guruji was tortured brutally, but his spirit remained unbroken. His devout Sikhs were also tortured and killed in an effort to convert Guruji to Islam. With every breath, every moment till their last, they obeyed Guruji's bachan, unflinchingly reciting Naam in the face of those instilling seeds of oppression. From their sacrifice and example, we can find what it means to fight for the causes and people we believe in. It was never going to be an easy thing to do. If it was, everyone would do it. But when we stop speaking up for the things that matter, we forfeit our right to believe in them. If we're not willing to blindingly trust in something, can we truly say that we believe in it? If we're not willing to live with truth and compassion, can we really call ourselves Sikhs? And if we're not willing to stand up for others in their times of need, can we really claim Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, Hindi Chadar, to be our Guru? In our modern day and age, it's not just important, but vital that we ask ourselves these questions. Finding that commitment, that level of chardikala, exemplified by our ninth Guru, is what we as Sikhs should strive to emulate today. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Next we have Avtar Singh. Next we have Bhavjot Singh.
Surya sope janiye jo laye din ke het Purja Purja Katme, Kabuna Cha Decade. Guru Pi Sasanji Kachke Fate Bla, why Hujika Khalsa, why Hujiki Fate. Guru Tegh Bahadur, called Hindi Chade, the protector of India, because he gave his life to defend his freedom of religion and human rights for all. In 1675, the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb tried to force Hindus to convert to Islam. The Kashmir Pandits came to Guru Tegh Bahadur asking for help. Guruji knew that he needed to stand for the truth, even if it cost him his life. He said, Joto Prem Kalam Ka Chao, Sirta Tali Gali Mein Ao. Guruji was arrested and taken to Delhi, along with 3 other brave Sikhs, by Martyrdom, by Satidasji, and by Dayalaji. By Martyrdom, he was tied between 2 wooden pillars and sawed alive from head to toe. By Satidasji, he was wrapped in cotton and burnt alive. And by Dayalaji, he was tied up and boiled alive in hot water. And finally, Guru Tegh Bahadur was beheaded at Chandni Chowk, Delhi. His sacrifice was not just for Sikhs, it was for all people to protect the right to practice any faith. As a Sikh youth, this teaches us to be fearless, kind, justice, and always ready to stand up for the truth. And this is why we remember Guru Tegh Bahadur as Hindi Chade, the shield of India. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Next we have Bhavdeep Singh.
Guru Pyari Saat Sangat Ji, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. My name is Bhavdeep Singh, and today I want to share what Guru Tegh Bahadur's sacrifice means to me, and what it teaches all Sikh youth today. Over 300 years ago, Guru Tegh Bahadur stood up for something bigger than himself. He gave his life to protect the religious freedom of others, Hindus, who were being forced to convert by the Mughal rulers. Even though he did not want to follow their religion, Guruji knew that true Sikhi standing up for anyone's right to practice their faith freely. His message was clear: truth and justice are for everyone, not just for Sikhs. But Guruji was not alone. Alongside him were 3 incredible Sikhs, by Martyrdom, who was sawn in half, by Satidasji, who was burned alive, and by Dayalaji, who was boiled in hot water. These Shaheeds showed unshakable courage, and their stories remind us the Sikh value of Admirable, to be fearless even in the face of death. Guru Tegh Bahadur's sacrifice protected the freedom of religion for all people in India. Because of him, many were able to keep their faith. He also became known as Hindi Chadar, the shield of India. In Gurbani, the Guru teaches us, Be kaho ko det nahi bai mat an. They do not frighten anyone, and they do not fear anyone else. This teaches us to stand tall and speak the truth with love and courage. So what can we learn as a Sikh youth today? We can be fearless in our actions, just like Guruji. That means standing up when we see bullying or unfairness, being kind even when others are not, and living a life of truth and compassion, no matter how hard it is. I may not be the same challenges as Guru Tegh Bahadur did, but in my school, community, and alone, I can still choose to be brave, kind, and strong. That's what Sikhi is all about. Let us all remember Guruji's sacrifice, not just with words, but with actions. May we always stand up for what is right, no matter what it's for. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.
Next, we'll have Darsh Singh.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji and his martyrdom happened 350 years ago this year, making this year the 350th anniversary. The Kashmiri Pandits were being threatened by Mughals and were being forced to turn Islamic or they would die. In desperation, the Pandits came to Guruji to help them. Guruji went with them and 3 Sikhs, Bhai Siddhitas, Bhai Matidas, and Bhai Dayaji. After arriving to the Mughal emperor, he gave them 2 choices, Islam or death. The 3 Singhs and Guruji all chose death, which inspired a revolution to take down the Mughals. We can learn that no matter the pressure, you can always persevere, and it inspires people to always fight back against the injustice that happens. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Next, we'll have Gunisha Kaur.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Today I'm going to give a brief summary on the life of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. Our 9th Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, sacrificed his life to protect the religious freedom of others. When Kashmiri Pandits were being forced to convert to Islam by the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, Guruji stood up for their freedom. Even though they followed a different faith, all individuals should be able to choose which religion they follow. Guruji's sacrifice teaches us that humanity is above any other religion and that standing up for others is one of the greatest acts of compassion and bravery. Guruji's sacrifice protected not only the Kashmiri Pandits that went to Guruji for help, but protected all people by giving them freedom of religion. Aurangzeb was trying to make people change their religion, but Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji stood up to Aurangzeb, which helped a large population of people. Guruji's sacrifice inspired countless people throughout history to follow in his footsteps. These people include the Char Sahibzade, the Panch Pyare, Charlie Mukte, and Baba Banda Singh Bahadur, Bhai Mani Singh Ji, and Bhai Deep Singh Ji. Guruji's teachings inspired and continue to inspire many people who wish to make the world a better and more equal place. Guruji's teachings say to fight against discrimination. He stood up for equality of all people, no matter what gender, caste, or religion they were a part of. To live as a strong, kind, and fearless Sikh in today's world, I can try to follow in my Guru's teachings. Being strong doesn't just mean like being able to lift something heavy or winning an arm wrestling contest or something like that. It's about standing up for what's right, even if it's hard to do. Being kind means being helpful, having compassion, and showing empathy. And being fearless means being proud of who I am. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji says, Peka hu ko detne, ne pe manat an, which refers to one who does not frighten anyone and one who is not afraid of anyone else. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Right, next we have Gurnoor Kaur.
तिलक जंजू राखा प्रभता का कीनो बड़ो कलू मैसा का वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. Today, I want to speak about an extraordinary soul, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. He gave his life to protect the rights of others, not just for his own community, but for people of another faith. At a time where fear and injustice were everywhere, Guruji stood up for truth, freedom, and human dignity. He didn't just talk about these values, he lived them, even when it cost him his life. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's sacrifice teaches us that standing up for others is not a weakness, it is the highest form of courage. He gave his life so others could practice their faith freely. In doing so, he didn't just protect one religion, he protected the idea that everyone has the right to believe what they choose. That message is still powerful today. Alongside Guruji were other brave Sikhs like Bhai Mati Das Ji, Bhai Sati Das Ji, and Bhai Dayala Ji. Their bravery, devotion, and strength are examples of what it means to truly live the Sikh values of nirpo, fearlessness, and daya, compassion. They remind us that even in the darkest times, we can still choose light. Guruji's teachings tells us to always stand up for what's right, even if we stand alone. And in today's world, where injustice and hate still exist, his message is more important than ever. So how can I live as a strong, kind, and fearless Sikh today? I can speak up when I see someone being treated unfairly. I can choose kindness over hate, courage over silence, and truth over fear, whether it's at school or in my community. I can remember Guru Tegh Bahadur's example and always try to follow it in my own way. His sacrifice is not just a story from the past. It's a reminder for all of us. Stand for others, speak the truth, and never be afraid to do what's right. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Next, we have Hargun Kaur, New York.
Yeah, that's good. Fateh? Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Today we remember the sacrifice of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji during a crucial moment in our history that continues to guide us. Guruji gave his life to protect the rights of others, standing against religious precaution. From this ultimate sacrifice, we learn the deep importance of supporting truth, justice, and dignity of all the people, regardless of their faith. His actions weren't just about one group. They were about defending the fundamental freedoms that every individual deserves. Following Guruji's footsteps, we honor these brave Sikhs like Bhai Mati Das Ji, Bhai Sati Das Ji, and Bhai Dayala Ji. There are multiple lines in our das, including Arya Nal Charaenge, to honor these Sikhs who showed unparalleled courage. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's teachings urge us to stand firm for what is right, to challenge injustice and protect those who are vulnerable. In today's world, living as a strong, free, and kind and fearless Sikh means embodying these values every day. It means standing up for justice, showing compassion to all, and living with courage and integrity. Let us remember Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's sacrifice and strive to live by his teachings, creating a world where truth and justice prevail. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Okay, now we have Hargun Kaur, Pennsylvania.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਅੱਜ ਮੈਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਨੌਵੇਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੇ। ਉਹ ਮਹਾਨ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਜੋ ਸਿਰਫ ਸਿੱਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਰ ਇਨਸਾਨੀਅਤ ਲਈ ਆਪਣੇ ਸੀਸ ਵਾਰ ਗਏ। ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਵਾਰ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਬਰਦਸਤੀ ਇਸਲਾਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਦਲਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ, ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਹੋਵਾਂਗਾ, ਫਿਰ ਜੋ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਕਰੋ। ਇਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਿਖਾਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਸੱਚ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਖੜਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ, ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਕੀਮਤ ਕੁਛ ਵੀ ਹੋਵੇ। ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਧਰਮ ਦੀ ਆਜ਼ਾਦੀ ਨੂੰ ਬਚਾ ਕੇ ਰੱਖਿਆ। ਸਿਰਫ ਸਿੱਖ ਧਰਮ ਨਹੀਂ, ਹਰ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੀਵਨ ਜੀਣ ਦਾ ਹੱਕ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੈ ਅੱਜ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਹੀਦੀ ਕਰਕੇ। ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਹੋਏ ਭਾਈ ਮਤੀ ਦਾਸ ਜੀ, ਭਾਈ ਸਤੀ ਦਾਸ ਜੀ, ਭਾਈ ਦਿਆਲਾ ਜੀ। ਬਾਅਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਾਬਾ ਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਜੈਸੇ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਰਸਤੇ 'ਤੇ ਚਲੇ। ਅਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਪੈ ਕਹੂ ਕੋ ਦੇਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈ ਮਾਨਤ ਆਨ। ਸਿੱਖ ਉਹ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਡਰਾਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਨਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਡਰਾਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਨਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਤੋਂ ਡਰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਸਾਡਾ ਸੱਚ ਤੇ ਇਨਸਾਫ ਨਾਲ ਖੜਨਾ ਹੀ ਅਸਲ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਸਿੱਖੇ ਹੋਏ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਦਇਆਲ, ਹਿੰਮਤੀ ਅਤੇ ਸਿੱਦਕ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਬਣ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਛੋਟੀ ਛੋਟੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਅਸਲੀਅਤ ਨਾਲ ਖੜਨਾ, ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਬੁਰਾ ਨਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਅਤੇ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਇਨਸਾਨੀਅਤ ਨਾਲ ਦੇ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਣਾ, ਇਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਯਾਦ ਨੂੰ ਸੱਚ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਰਧਾਂਜਲੀ ਹੈ। ਧੰਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਸ਼ਹੀਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਰਤਾਜ, ਧੰਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਸ਼ਹੀਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਰਤਾਜ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
But we have to listen to our friends when they're doing their speech, so please no talking. And now we have Hargun Singh from Pennsylvania.
The reason why Guru Tegh Bahadur sacrificed his life was because his death reminded us to always stand up whenever there's difficult times. That's the power of being part of a Sikhi and to protect the religious freedom of Kashmiri Pandits. His sacrifice protected the freedom of all people by telling us to stand up for truth, justice, and humanity and human dignity. There were 3 Sikhs who came along with Guru Tegh Bahadur, by Marty Das Ji, by Sadi Das Ji, by Diana. The 3 Sikhs died by Marty Das Ji was killed by getting sawn into 2 halves. By Sadi Das Ji was covered in cotton and was set on fire. By Diana was boiled in water after rejecting to get converted into Islam. For standing up what's right means that if you don't give up on something, you can become brave for that. Guru Tegh Bahadur also got the title Hindi Chandad by getting beheaded publicly. And Hindi Chandad means Hinduism and religious diversity. His son Guru Gobind Singh Ji was also influenced by his father's death and was going to form an army of Khalsa. Vaiguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaiguru Ji ki Fateh.
Right now we have Harjas Kaur from Pennsylvania.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. There are places in this world where even now, people stare at our patkas and turbans in suspicion. They take one look at us and decide we don't belong. They taunt us and bully us just because we look different. People have done that since our first guru was born. However, our ninth guru, despite everything said and done to him and other Sikhs, sacrificed himself to save one of the religions who did this. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji achieved martyrdom, fighting for justice and the right to choose your own religion. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji gave his life so the Hindus wouldn't need to convert to Islam and so they could stay true to their religion just like we can. I think something we can take away from this is that on top of staying true to our religion, we as Sikhs should do everything in our power to make sure everyone also has the choice of religion, just like our Guru did. Our Guru's sacrifice protected freedom for all people because Guruji sacrificed his life for a different religion. Even though Sikhi values and practices were different than Hinduism, Guruji believed in the freedom to choose your own religion for everyone. Now all knew that the Sikhs would help, because we would fight for our and everyone else's freedom. Other people, like the four Sahibzada, Bhai Mani Singh Ji, Bhai Taru Singh Ji, and Baba Deep Singh Ji also gave up their lives for Sikhi, and would have done the same thing for another religion as well, because that is what a true Sikh would do. It even specifically states this in the last line of Ardas, which is Sarbat Tapala, which means welfare for all. If there isn't welfare for all, we should stand up for what's right and make sure there is. Now, for the most important part. How can we be like our wise, brave gurus? There are two things to remember. When something bad happens, or in the face of fear, remember that Vaheguru is there for you, no matter what. He has planned this, and whatever what will happen because of it. So just believe in God's actions and do what is the right thing to do. And going back to what I said in the beginning, sometimes it's hard to be kind to people, especially if they don't like you too much. But we have to remember that there's always a reason behind their behavior, and us Sikhs are always there to help, no matter what. So the next time someone bullies you, or anyone else, remind yourselves of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji and what he would have done. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
All right, next we have Harjas Kaur from Maryland. We need to show the same courtesy to our friends they showed to you. So please listen.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji sacrificed himself for the sake of others, especially Hindus. Guruji did that so people in other religions could continue practicing their religion and so religious freedom could be a reality in India. Guruji was born in 1621. His name wasn't Tegh Bahadur yet. He was born as Tyagmal. His name was later changed to Tegh Bahadur because of his bravery. Guru's sacrifice was the second Guru Martyrdom in Sikh history. He was the ninth Guru, was the first Shahidi being Guru Arjan Dev Ji's. This event showed bravery, standing up for injustice. Guruji stood up for Kashmiri Pandits being forced to convert to Islam by Aurangzeb. His sacrifice is very unique because for the most part it is unheard of. A religious leader standing up for other religions isn't something you have heard a lot. If you remember, Guru Nanak Dev Ji rejected the Janu when he was a young child. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji protected that same Janu. They are both the jewels in different bodies, so how are their psychologies the same? Guru Nanak Dev Ji rejected the Janu because it was a ritual and that he didn't believe in it. He didn't mind other Hindus wearing it, but he just didn't believe in it himself. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was protecting religious freedom. Along with Guruji, three Sikhs by Matidas, by Satidas, and by Dayala Ji were martyrs with Guruji. They also chose to die when presented with the two options of converting to Islam or death. If they converted, they would live such a paradise, yet they still chose death. All three of them accompanied the Guru along the trip. They were summoned by Aurangzeb when he saw the message that Hindus and Sikhs would convert if the Guru did so too. These four showed such courage. by Mati Das Ji was sawed in half, by Diyala Ji was boiled alive, and by Sati Das Ji was burnt in cotton. All four became martyrs for religious freedom in India at that time. Gurbani teaches us to live without fear in many shabads. Many martyrs and just brave Sikhs in general showed acts of fearlessness. Guruji didn't have to sacrifice himself. He did so because he saw that a sacrifice was needed. In today's world, we need to carry on Guruji's message, especially as Sikh youth. We can continue to do different types of seva, meditating on Waheguru, and being fearless. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for those sacrifices. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
All right, next we have Jalnid Singh.
Waheguru. Fateh. Fateh. I think it's good. Fateh. वाहेगुरु जी का वाहेगुरु जी का खालसा वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह. Sad Sangat ji, when we think of heroes, we often imagine warriors with great swords or kings with giant armies. But Guru Tegh Bahadur ji showed us that true strength does not lie in weapons, but in standing up for what is right, even when it can cost you everything. In 1675, a dark time shadowed India. People were being forced to give up their religion. Hindu Brahmins from Kashmir came to Guru Tegh Bahadur ji, not because he was one of them, but because they knew he would stand up for them. And he did. The Guru stood not just for Sikhs, but for all people. His message was clear. No one should ever have to change their religion. Manas ki jaat sabah ek hai pehchanbo. Recognize all of humanity as one race. He was arrested by Emperor Aurangzeb and given a cruel choice: convert or die. Guruji refused. He said, if you can convert me, they will all follow. But if not, you let them live in peace. By Mati Das Ji, by Sati Das Ji, by Diyala Ji, we're all fearless. They got sawn alive. They got boiled. They got burnt in cotton. They were all fearless. Guruji's sacrifice was not just for one community. He lit a lamp of freedom that still burns today. He showed us that true Sikhi isn't about personal growth. It's about standing up for what is right for others. So how do we follow in his footsteps? We don't face emperors, but Sad Sangat ji, ask yourself this. Do I speak up when someone's bullied? Do I include someone who feels left out? Do I speak the truth even when it is hard? Sach kahiye sach karna, nanak rahe path se marna. One who speaks and lives the truth, O Nanak, dies with honor. Being a Sikh means being brave and kind at the same time. Nirbhau and nirvair. It means choosing seva over selfishness, simran over stress, and shakti over silence.
जो तो प्रेम खिलन का चाओ सिर तर तली गली मेरी आओ Sad Sangat ji, to conclude my speech, I may be young, but I know this. Standing up for someone is the most Sikh thing I can do. And that is the legacy of Guru Tegh Bahadur ji. Vaheguru ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki Fateh.
Next, we have Jaskirat Kaur, Maryland.
Yep, thank you. Vaheguru ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki Fateh. Guru Tegh Bahadur ji attained Shahidi in 1675 because he was trying to help the Kashmiri Pandits. Their Janus were being removed day by day by day, and then Aurangzeb would weigh them because he thought, this is an accomplishment, this is great, converting all these people into Islam. It wasn't. He was taking away what was rightfully theirs, the right to practice their religions freely. So what makes this really unique is that how many people can you name in history that have died for somebody else's religion? Well, you can name Bhai Satidas ji, Bhai Matidas ji, Bhai Dayala ji, and Guru Tegh Bahadur ji. That's 4 people. Who else can you name outside of Sikhi? You know? So he was protecting what others were believing in. And Guru Tegh Bahadur ji was, however, put in the position where he had to protect the Janu. He didn't think twice about it. He did it. And Guruji's sacrifice was not the only one. 3 Sikhs accompanied Guru Tegh Bahadur ji and attained Shahidi too. That's Bhai Satidas ji, Bhai Matidas ji, and Bhai Dayala ji. And this affected Guruji's sacrifice because it showed how much he cared about others, how much he loved everybody, and that he was willing to give up his own life, not just make a sacrifice, but become it so that everybody else could live in peace and practice what they wanted freely. He gave their rights back to the people who it was taken away from. And that's really admirable. We should be fighting against injustice too. So what we should be doing today is that we should follow in Guruji's footsteps and teachings and be humble about what we do, but still stand up against injustice so that when we do it, it's with equality, honesty, and kindness to however we can stand up to, you know? Whoever we can help. Whatever you can do, do it to help others. So all in all, live a life that's in truth and worth something good. That is what Guruji teaches us today, and that we should stand up against injustice of any kind without fear. Thank you. Vaheguru ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki Fateh.
Next, we have Jaskirat Singh from Delaware.
Vaheguru ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki Fateh. Guru Tegh Bahadur ji died in 1675 by the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. He was beheaded in public because he stood up for the religious freedoms of others who weren't even from his own religion. This is how it went. There was an evil Mughal emperor who forced others to convert to his religion, Islam. When they refused to convert, they were brutally tortured and killed. These people were not even Muslim. They were only using their religion as a mask. The Kashmiri Pandits were being oppressed and needed help. Their elders had a vision and told them to call upon the 9th Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur ji. They traveled looking for him and told him everything. Guru Tegh Bahadur ji, hearing this, felt deep compassion and responsibility. He knew he couldn't just let these people suffer.
He knew he couldn't live with that, and he knew the sacrifice. His own son asked him to sacrifice himself, and he had no hesitation. The Kashmiri Pandits led the way to Aurangzeb, and Guruji said, "If you can convert me, the rest will follow." And they couldn't, so they tortured him and killed him. He was beheaded in public. His sacrifice wasn't in vain. It set an example, and others stopped giving in as well. They started resisting. After Guru Gobind Singh Ji formed the Khalsa, they fought back and won major battles. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji didn't do this alone. He had many of his companions, Bhai Mati Das Ji, Bhai Sati Das Ji, and Bhai Dayala Ji. All three of them were brutally tortured and killed. And their last wishes were to face Guruji. The message he followed was of Nirpo, being fearless. Guruji's sacrifice strengthened all the hearts of the Sikhs and made us even stronger. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
All right, we have Jeet Singh now. Jeet Singh? He's not here. Kabir Singh, Maryland.
Vaheguru. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was our ninth Guru. He was the youngest son of Guru Har Gobind Ji and Mata Nanki. He was born in Amritsar on April 1st, 1621. He was married to Mata Gujri Ji and had one son, Gobind Rai, who later became our 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji. In India, in 1675, Aurangzeb and his Mughal Empire was a dominating force throughout India. Aurangzeb wished to convert all the people of India to Islam, and anyone who didn't convert was executed. He was specifically targeting the Kashmiri Pandits. The Pandits were revered among the Hindu community, and if he converted them, he believed the other Hindus would follow suit. When they were distressed, the Kashmiri Pandits came to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji for help. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was deeply concerned, and while they were discussing possible solutions, 9-year-old Gobind Rai came to the room where this discussion was happening. He asked them why everyone was so tense and what had happened. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji filled him in and said that a great and holy man's sacrifice was needed to help them in their struggles. Gobind Rai said to his father, "Who would be a holier man than you in this age?" Guruji understood and told the Pandits he would help. Accompanied by his brave and trusting Sikhs, Bhai Mati Das, Bhai Sati Das, and Bhai Dayal Das Ji, Guruji set out to confront Aurangzeb. Upon arrival, they were immediately given the same ultimatum: convert to Islam or face the penalty of death. Guruji announced that they would rather sacrifice their lives than give up their faith. For the next 8 days, they were tortured with unimaginable methods. Through keeping his mind fixated on Vaheguru, Guruji withstood it all without showing any signs of grief or pain. After this, Aurangzeb believed the next best way to break Guruji's spirit would be to execute his companions. First was Bhai Dayal Das. He was placed in a pot of boiling water and he peacefully accepted his fate and merged back to Vaheguru. Then was Bhai Mati Das Ji. The Qazis said to him to embrace Islam and live a peaceful life here and in heaven, or be sawn in two. He said he would sacrifice hundreds of heavens if it meant being faithful to his path and religion. Last was Bhai Sati Das Ji. He was also asked by the Qazis to embrace Islam and live in happiness. Bhai Sati Das Ji responded by saying they do not understand his eternal happiness from obeying the words of his Guru. He was then covered in cotton, doused in gasoline, and burned alive. Just like the others, Bhai Sati Das Ji remained calm till his last breath. These three Sikhs perfectly demonstrate many of the ideals of Sikhi, such as nirbhav and standing up for the truth. The importance of truth is given by Guru Amar Das Ji's Bani. Sacha Satgur, Sachi Bani, Jin Sach Vikhalya Soi, Sache Gun Gave Sach Mave, Sach Vekhe Sab Soi. Even after these events, Guruji did not give in and continued to fight for his religion. He was still tortured, and eventually, Aurangzeb was fed up. He ordered a public execution for him. Guru Tegh Bahadur ji was publicly beheaded on November 24th, 1675 in Chandni Chowk, Delhi. Guruji gave his life to protect those who needed help, even though they were not of the same religion as him. He gave the biggest sacrifice to protect the innocent from the cruel. From this, we can learn to always offer help and assistance to those in need, no matter who they are or what they mean to you. Through his sacrifice, Guruji paved the way for the Sikh resistance to Aurangzeb, leading to Guru Gobind Singh Ji's creation of the Khalsa. The Char Sahibzade, the Panch Pyare, and the Chali Mukte are all examples of brave Sikhs who follow in Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's footsteps in giving the ultimate sacrifice to protect those around them. Today, we can learn from Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's sacrifice and always protect those in need of help. We can commit ourselves to community service and seva to better the lives of others and of ours and others at the same time. We can partake in this month by giving 10% of our income to the Gurdwara and seva to become a devoted Sikh. By keeping ourselves connected with Vaheguru and his Naam, we can ensure we are on the right path. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Next we have Kabir Singh.
I think it's good. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was the ninth Guru, whose mothers and father's names were Mata Gurri Ji and Guru Har Gobind Ji respectively. He was a respectable man, respected by many Hindus and Sikhs because of his kindness and wisdom. But what truly made him a hero? There were many people who respected him, but one thing in particular made tens of thousands of people respect him as a hero. So what happened on that one fateful day? It was the fall of 1675 when a Kashmir Pandit came to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji and told him what was happening in Delhi, where he told him that they were getting persecuted by the Muslims to convert to Islam or die. Guruji then went to Delhi to show them that he can't get converted and show that the Muslims and show and show the Muslims that they would rather die than convert. And alongside him went Matidas Ji, Bhai Satidas Ji, and Bhai Tayal Ji. Soon after they entered Delhi, they got arrested and soon were given the same choices as the Pandits: convert or death. And of course, they chose death. Bhai Matidas Ji got sawed in half, Bhai Satidas Ji got burned alive, and Bhai Tayal Ji got boiled alive. But all throughout that, they weren't screaming, no. They were speaking parts. Soon after, Guruji was also beheaded. And then after, it started to thunder. In all that chaos, Bhai Jetaji ran into the courtyard to get his head and started running to Anandpur to meet up with the young Guru Gobind Singh Ji. And soon after Guru Gobind Singh Ji got the message, he started running to Anandpur himself. He started running to Delhi. And near Anandpur, Bhai Jetaji and Guru Gobind Singh Ji met up. Bhai Jetaji gave Guru Gobind Singh Ji the head and headed back to Delhi. Guruji's death was not in vain. It showed everyone that they could practice their own religion and should not be forced to convert. Guruji said that a true Sikh is not measured by strength, but by kindness and wisdom. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
All right, next we have Kareen Kaur.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So my name is Green Kaur, and today I feel truly honored to speak about a hero of humanity, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. He wasn't just a leader of Sikhs, he was a protector of everyone's right to believe, worship, and live freely. So why did Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji give his life? In a time when people were being forced to give up their faith, Guru Sahib stood tall. When Kashmiri Pandits came to him, terrified and helpless, he didn't look away. He didn't ask them to convert to Sikhi. He saw their pain and chose to fight, not with weapons, but with courage and truth. His words were clear. If you want to take away someone's freedom, you'll have to go through me first. And he meant it. He was arrested, tortured, and finally martyred in Delhi, all because he refused to stay silent in the face of injustice. What does this mean for us as Sikh youth today? It teaches us that Sikhi is not just about a personal prayer, it's about standing up for what's right, even when it's hard. Guru Sahib gave up his life for people of a different faith. That's true selflessness. That's Sarbat Tapala. Let's not forget the bravery of Bhai Mati Das Ji, who was sawed in half, by Sati Das Ji, who was burned alive, and by Dayala Ji, who was boiled in water. These Sikhs didn't cry out. They recited Vaheguru till their last breath. This is fearlessness, nirpao. Gurbani teaches us, Pe kaha ko det nehe, ne pe amanat an, kaho nanak sun re mana, gyani tahe bakhan. One who does not frighten anyone and who is not afraid of anyone else, says Nanak, listen, man, call him spiritually wise. So what can we do in 2025? We may not face swords or jails, but we face pressure. Pressure to stay quiet about racism, bullying, or injustice. We face moments when it's easier to fit in than to stand out. But Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji showed us being silent in the face of wrong is not the Sikh way. We can live his message by speaking up for those who are voiceless, showing kindness even to those who disagree with us, being fearless in our identity as Sikhs, proud of the stars, our values, our history. Every time we stand for truth, we walk in the Guru's footsteps. Every time we defend others, we live up to the name of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, Hind Di Chadar. Let's not just remember his sacrifice, let's carry it forward. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
We're almost there. Next we have Kushan Singh.
Yes, good. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Today, I'm going to talk about Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji and his ultimate sacrifice. Our ninth Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, was born in 1621. His childhood name was Tyagmal, and after showing great bravery in the Battle of Kartarpur, he was given the name Tegh Bahadur, meaning brave sword wielder. During his leadership, he boldly opposed the Mughal rulers who were forcing Hindus to convert to Islam. Even though he didn't follow the Hindu faith himself, Guruji gave his life to protect their right and to practice their religion freely. From his sacrifice, I've learned the real meaning of standing up for what's right. No matter how difficult the path may be, courage and truth must lead the way. He taught us that human dignity and religious freedom aren't just Sikh values, they are universal values. His life reminds us that true strength doesn't just come from weapons or power, but from living with nirpo without fear and nirvad without hate. Guruji wasn't alone in his bravery. His three fearless disciples, Bhai Mati Das Ji, Bhai Sati Das Ji, and Bhai Dayala Ji, even when tortured and given the chance to save their lives, they chose to stay strong in their Sikhi and remain loyal to their Guru. The Mughal rulers gave Guruji three options: convert to Islam, prepare for execution, or perform a miracle. Guruji responded that showing a miracle is a sign of doubt, and only God performs miracles. Secondly, faith is a personal matter, and everyone has the right to to their own beliefs. And thirdly, life and death are in the hands of God. We live only for the breaths He gives, and no one can increase or decrease them. When the Mughal rulers saw that they couldn't break Guruji's spirit, they executed him. The unparalleled sacrifice of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji and his disciples worked as volcano and stirred the people out of their slumber. He stood for freedom, equality, and brotherhood of mankind at a time when such values were totally unthinkable. Today, we remember Guruji and the importance of being brave, speaking up against injustice, being kind to others, even when they're different from us, and standing firm in our beliefs. Whether at school, with friends, or online, we can live like Guruji taught by always choosing what is right, even when it's not easy. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's sacrifice isn't just history, it's a living lesson. His life teaches us to stand for truth, fight for justice, and live without fear. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.
All right, next we have Kirpa Kaur.
Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, our ninth Guru, gave his life defending the right of people to practice their own faith freely. In 1675, he stood against the forced conversions of Hindus by the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, refusing to bow to oppression. Despite knowing the consequences, he chose to uphold the principles of justice, courage, and religious freedom. His Shahidi in Delhi was not just a sacrifice for Sikhs, but for all of humanity. Today, his legacy reminds us that true leadership means standing up for others, even at great personal cost. His example continues to inspire us to protect the rights and dignity of all people, no matter their religion. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.
Right, next we have Mehtab Singh.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I'm talking about Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. He helped Kashmiri Hindu and he called Hindi Chadar. And he's our ninth Guru. When he's helping Hindu, he didn't scare from Muslims and he didn't give up in fights. And when he got captured by Muslims, he didn't accept Muslim and he only accepted Sikh, and he died in 1675. That's it.
Next we have Manpreet Kaur.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Dhan Dhan Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was born on April 1621 in Amritsar, India. Our sixth Guru, Guru Hargobind Ji, is Guruji's father, and their mother's name is Bibi Nanki Ji. Guruji's birth name was Tyagmal. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's wife's name was Mata Gujri Ji. Guru Gobind Singh Ji is our 10th Guru, our 10th Guru, and our Guruji's only son. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji got Guru Gaddiship in 1644, right after the passing of the 8th Guru, Guru Hargobind Harkrishan Ji. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji composed 116 shabds and 15 rags, which are included in the Guru Granth Sahib. During his time, Guruji traveled throughout India to spread the teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji and established several preaching centers. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji also founded the city of Anandpur, which is the central place of learning for our Sikh community. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is also known as Hindi Chadar because in 1675, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji helped some Kashmiri Pandits who were forced to convert their religion to Islam by Mughal Aurangzeb. Guruji stood up against Aurangzeb and chose to be executed rather than abandon his own faith. On 1675, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji got martyred and was beheaded by Aurangzeb. Bhai Jeevan Singh Ji, who followed Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's footsteps, risked his own life to ensure proper respect for Guruji's head and brought it to Anandpur, where it was cremated by Guru Govind Singh Ji. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's sacrifice are a symbol of courage and teaching today's youth that we should always stand up for others' rights and live an ego-free life. Hal Bilhai Satguru Pure Sant ke Date Bachan ke Suren Tan Tan Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh.
Next, we have Priya Kaur.
Fateh. Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was born in April 1621 in Amritsar. He was one of the youngest sons of Guru Har Gobind Ji and Mata Nanki Ji. In 1675, Aurangzeb wanted to convert India to Islamic. He was forcibly converting everyone and even Hindu temples to mosques. Kashmiri Pandits came to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji for protection and help, as they knew that no one comes from the house of Nanak empty-handed. Guruji assured them that no one will be disappointed and he will do whatever he can to keep the right to freedom of religion, even if he has to give up his life. Guruji told Aurangzeb if he can convert Guruji to Muslim or make him do a miracle, then Kashmiri Hindus would become Muslim. We can learn that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's actions show how important it is to stand up for what we believe in and to fight for what's right. Guruji sacrificed his life to fight for justice and protect the basic human rights of everyone. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji left Anandpur Sahib to meet Aurangzeb in Delhi. He left with his accomplices, Bhai Mati Das Ji, Bhai Sati Das Ji, and Bhai Dayala Ji. Guruji knew he was going to get martyred, so Guruji passed on the responsibility of Guruship to his young son Gobind Rai. He gave Sikhs courage to face injustices but never gave up on Sikhi. When Guruji was on his way to Delhi, he got arrested along with Bhai Mati Das Ji, Bhai Sati Das Ji, Bhai Dayala Ji, and other Sikhs. They were all put in jail for months and given punishment because they refused to give up Sikhism or show miracles. Bhai Mati Das Ji, Bhai Sati Das Ji, and Bhai Dayala Ji were devoted followers of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, which is why they gave their lives alongside Guruji. Guruji explained, "There's only one God and everyone should be free to practice the religion of choice." He was martyred to prove his point. Guruji sacrificed his life to make sure that everyone had freedom of religion. Guruji said, "Impose no fear unto others and have no fear of anyone. I will always keep in mind not to be afraid of anybody, always respect all mankind, and follow the will of God, as well as fight injustices in any way I possibly can. I can live as a strong, kind, and fearless Sikh kid in today's world by following Guruji's teachings and embracing the Sikh way of life. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh."
Next we have Ravnoor Singh. Okay. We're gonna go to Rian Singh. Okay, moving on to Rihanna Kaur.
Yeah. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. My name is Rihanna Kaur, and today I'm going to talk about Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, who gave his life not just for Sikhs, but for the freedom of all people. At a time when the Mughal Empire, Aurangzeb, was forcing people to convert to Islam, a group of Hindu Pandits from Kashmir came to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji asking for help. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji could have stayed silent. It wasn't the Sikhs that were under attack, but instead he stood up for the Hindus to be able to choose their own religion and faith. Guruji said, "If you can make me convert, the rest will follow." But the Mughals couldn't force the Guru to convert. So Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was arrested, tortured, and then beheaded in Delhi in 1675. The reason was because he stood for truth, freedom, and human dignity. His sacrifice teaches Sikhs a powerful lesson, to stand up for what is right even when it's hard, even if we are standing alone. He lived the Sikh values of Nirbhav, being fearless, and Daya, compassion for all. Alongside Guruji were his three brave companions, Bhai Matidas Ji, who was sawed in half, Bhai Satidas Ji, who was burned alive, and Bhai Diyala Ji, who was boiled to death. They all showed unshakable faith and courage. Their bravery reminds us that we are never too young to make a difference when we stand for truth. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's teachings are full of strength. In Gurbani, he says, "Pai kahu to det ne pai manata," which means he does not frighten anyone and he does not fear anyone. This is what it means to be a Sikh, to live with courage and kindness, not just for ourselves but for others too. How can we as Sikh youth follow Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's example today? We can speak up when someone's bullied, we can be kind to those who are different from us, and we can live with honesty, share what we have, and remember Vaheguru Ji every day. Today, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's message matters more than ever. Standing up for freedom, fairness, and other people isn't just something from the past, it's something we have to do now. Let's always remember, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji gave his life, but he never gave up what he believed in. He stood strong for what was right, even when it meant great sacrifice. Now it's up to us. We have to be brave, kind, and true to our Sikh values every day. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Next we have Sakhi Kaur.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Today I will be talking about our ninth Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, a strong and fearless leader. So, why did Guruji give his life, and what can we learn from that? The Hindus and Sikhs came to Guruji for guidance from Aurangzeb, the Mughal emperor. He tried to convince Guruji to convert to Islam, but refusing to give up his beliefs, he refused. When he refused, he was put in jail, and many Muslims tried to convince him that Islam was the superior religion. The Kashmiri Pandits said that if Guruji converted to Islam, they would all convert to Islam. So then Aurangzeb gave orders to kill Guruji. Even in the name of death, Guruji remained strong. We should stand up for what is right, be brave in the face of oppression, and uphold truth and justice. Next, how did his sacrifice protect freedom for all people? When Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was ordered to be executed, 3 of his devotees followed along, Bhai Satidas, Bhai Matidas, and Bhai Diyala. To scare Guruji, he killed all of his devotees. Bhai Satidas was burned alive wrapped in cotton. Bhai Matidas was sawed in half, and Bhai Diyala Ji was put in a cauldron of boiling hot water. Despite witnessing these brutal acts, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji did not waver. Ultimately, he was publicly beheaded in Chandni Chowk, Delhi, and his sacrifice is a profound act of spiritual courage and a timeless stand for the right of religious freedom for all. He protected the freedom of all by standing as a bold spiritual and moral resistance against religious tyranny. Therefore, who were some brave Sikhs who followed in his footsteps? There were many people who followed in his footsteps, his son being one of them. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's son, Gobind Rai, who later became Guru Gobind Singh Ji, created the Khalsa in 1699 and fought many battles against Aurangzeb. Another brave person was Bhai Mani Singh, who helped transcribe all of the Guru's teachings and helped compile Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Also, what do the Guru's teachings say about standing up for what's right? His teachings are to stand up for the right of religious freedom, to stand for truth and justice, to be fearless, protect the weak, and have courage. One quote from him means one who does not frighten anyone and one who is not afraid of anyone else. His teachings say to stand for religious freedom and protect anyone who is weak. Lastly, how can I live as a strong, kind, and fearless Sikh in today's world? I can stand up for what is right, fight for truth and justice, be courageous and strong, and stand up for others who may not have a voice. Living as a strong, kind, and fearless Sikh means to live in Chardi Kala and be attentive in Gurmat. Being a strong, fearless Sikh in today's world is also to engage in seva wherever you go. Also, applying the 3 golden rules in your life. Kirt karo naam japo and vanchako to be a good Sikh. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was known as a protector of human rights. He gave his life just to protect the religious freedom of others, not the Sikhs, but even Hindus and Muslims. This earned his name Hindi Chadar, which means shield of India. His legacy inspires us to stand up for religious freedom and protect the weaker and stand for the truth and justice. Thank you for listening. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Next, we have some Marine Corps.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is our 9th Guruji. They were the youngest sons of our 6th Guruji, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was born in 1621 in Amritsar. His birth name was Tyagmal. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji became the 9th Guru of Sikhs on April 16, 1664, shortly after the passing of Guru Har Krishan Ji. Guruji wrote 116 shabds which are included in the Guru Granth Sahib. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji sacrificed his life to protect the religious freedom of others, specifically Kashmiri Pandits who were facing forced conversions to Islam under Mughal Empire Aurangzeb. He stood up against religious intolerance and injustice, demonstrating a commitment to the principle that everyone has the right to practice their faith freely. Some of the bravest Sikhs, by Mati Das Ji, by Sati Das Ji, and by Diyala Ji, were the 3 Sikhs who were the closest companions of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji and accompanied him to Delhi when he was summoned by Aurangzeb. They endured horrific torture and martyrdom alongside their Guru, refusing to renounce their faith. By Mati Das Ji was sawn in half, by Sati Das Ji was burnt alive wrapped in cotton, and by Diyala Ji was boiled alive. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's teaching teaches us that a truly wise person is who neither frightens anyone nor is afraid of anyone else. His teaching also teaches us to overcome greed, desire, ego, and pain. As a Sikh today, we should follow the teachings of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, which will help us to live in today's world. For example, trustful living, sharing with others, seva, and freely meditation upon God. And being proud to have Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji as a Guru, remembering his sacrifice. Tilk javo raka prab daka kinu badu kalu masaka sadhan het iti jankari shees tea prasina uchri. Tan Tan Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Next, we have Seerat Kaur, Pennsylvania.
ठीकर for the leaser, Prabhur kiya pyan, Tegh Bahadur sikriya, kari na kinhu an. Guru ਪਿਆਰਿਓ ਆਓ ਸਾਰੇ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਬੇਮਿਸਾਲ ਸ਼ਹੀਦੀ ਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਫਤਿਹ ਬੁਲਾਏ। Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. The title Hindi Chadar describes the heroic shahidi of Sadhe Nove Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, as he bravely devoted his life for the Hindu religion and their freedom from Aurangzeb. His life and sacrifice teach Sikh youth how to live with courage, kindness, and faith. Over 300 years ago, the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb tried to force Hindus to convert to Islam. The Kashmiri Pandits, scared for their lives and faith, came to Guru Sahib for help. Guruji didn't belong to their religion, but he believed that no one should be forced to give up their beliefs. He stood up not just for the Sikhs, but for everyone's right to choose their own faith. Guruji told the emperor, "If you can convert me, the rest will follow." He was arrested and tortured, but he did not give up. He stayed calm, strong, and fearless, and in the end, he was beheaded in Delhi, but he became a martyr for human rights. We also remember the bravery of Bhai Mati Das Ji, who was sawed in half, by Sati Das Ji, who was burned alive, and by Dayala Ji, who was boiled in burning hot water. They all gave their lives but didn't leave their faith. Their courage shows what it means to live with nirbhav, without fear. From Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's example, we learn to stand for truth and justice, even if it's hard, to protect others, even if they're different from us, and to stay strong in our Sikhi, even when the whole world says no. Guruji's actions match the words of Gurbani, as Guru Gobind Singh Ji wrote, Tilak Janju Rakha Prabtaka, Kino Bado Kalume Saka, Sadhan Het Itijan Kari, Sistya Parsina Uchari. Even today, we face many challenges. There's bullying, unfairness, and sometimes we are scared to show our true Sikh identity. But Guruji teaches us to be brave, kind, and stand up for what's right, just like he did. We can live like strong Sikhs by helping others, telling the truth, and doing Simran every day. Let us remember, true courage is standing up with love and faith, just like Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. Tegh Bahadur ke chalat, peo jagat ko sok, hai sab jag peo, jai 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 sulok. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Next, we have Sirat Kaur from Maryland.
Yeah. Can you move it down a little? Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. It's fine. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. In 1675, Guru Tegh Bahadur made the greatest sacrifice of our history. At age 54, him and his companions were brought to Delhi and then imprisoned at Chandni Chowk. On November 5th, he was shown to the royal Qazi, who gave him three choices. Number one, convert to Islam. Second, show a miracle to prove he was one with the Satgur, or be prepared to die. Guruji replied with three things he believed in. Everyone should be free to practice the religion they believe in without being forced to convert. 2, showing miracles is an act of defiance and it's not right for anyone to interfere in God's will. 3, he would not die afraid because whether he lived or died would be in God's hands. He had 3 companions, by Satidas, by Matidas, and by Dayala. On November 11, 1675, his first companion was sentenced to death to scare the Guru. Bhai Dayal was boiled alive. Despite knowing he was about to die, he didn't turn away Sikhi, but instead asked to be looking at his Guru when he was burned. He was doused in boiling water. Even while this was happening, he wasn't screaming or even looking like he was in pain. He gazed calmly at the Guru Sahib and recited Pad with water burning holes in his skin. After Bhai Dayal thus passed away, Aurangzeb told Guru once again to give in to Islam. When he refused, the emperor ordered Bhai Mati Das Ji and Bhai Sati Das Ji should be killed as well. Bhai Mati Das Ji was sawed in half and Bhai Sati Das Ji was wrapped in cotton, which the Mughals then set on fire. Both of them had the choice to give up the Sikh lifestyle and give into wealth and land or die. Both of them chose the Guru. Both of their last wishes were to be facing the Guru. They recited Pad while they were attaining Shahidi. Even though this was 300 years ago, his legacy still carries on today. He taught us to never give in to tyranny and to stand up for others when they can't themselves. We remember about his companions in our das every day. They are not just history, they remind us to be our best selves and always help others, even if you don't like or believe in the same things they do. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji didn't just teach us how to have unwavering strength, he demonstrated. The wave he made 350 years ago still ripples into all of us today. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Next we have Simreen Kaur. That was you. Simreen, Maryland. Okay. Tejan Kaur. Oh, okay, so Simreen is you,
Yeah,
right?
there's a Simran and there's a Simran. There's two.
But there's no
That's Simran. It's my name, Simran.
Simmer.
Simran. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, our ninth Guru, made the ultimate sacrifice to defend freedom of religion. In 1675, he fearlessly opposed the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb's attempt to forcibly convert Hindus, standing as a shield for the oppressed. Though he knew his refusal to convert would cost him his life, he stayed true to his principles of truth, courage, and justice. His execution in Delhi marked a powerful moment in history, where one man laid down his life, not for his own faith, but for the rights of others. His sacrifice still echoes today, reminding us of the importance of standing up for freedom and human rights. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's legacy continues to inspire us to defend the dignity of every individual, regardless of their beliefs. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Okay, we have Tejan Kaur.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Guru Tegh Bahadur was a true martyr for humanity. He gave his life not just for Sikhs, but people of all faiths. Guru Tegh Bahadur was arrested, tortured, and finally gave his life, but he never gave up on his principles. Alongside Guru Tegh Bahadur were three other Singhs who were major examples of this, like by Martyrdom Ji, by Satidas Ji, and by Dayala Ji, or you could also say the Char Sahibzade. By remembering Guru Tegh Bahadur's sacrifice, I learned that even one voice can protect many lives. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Next we have Uprad Singh.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਅੱਜ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੇ ਨੌਵੇਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੁਝ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਸਾਂਝੇ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਨਮ 1621 ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਜਨਮ ਤੋਂ ਨਾਂ ਤਿਆਗਮਲ ਸੀ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਲਸ਼ਕਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਲੜਾਈਆਂ ਲੜੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਸਨ, ਇਸ ਲਈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਵਾਂ ਨਾਂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਮਿਲਿਆ। 1675 ਵਿੱਚ ਔਰੰਗਜ਼ੇਬ ਹਿੰਦੁਸਤਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਇਸਲਾਮੀ ਮੁਲਕ ਬਣਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ। ਔਰੰਗਜ਼ੇਬ ਸਾਰੇ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਸਲਾਮ ਧਰਮ ਕਬੂਲ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਮਜਬੂਰ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ। ਇਸ ਲਈ ਧਰਮ ਨੂੰ ਬਚਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਪੰਡਿਤ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਰਾਮ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੋਲ ਮਦਦ ਮੰਗਣ ਆਇਆ। ਹਿੰਦੂ ਧਰਮ ਦੀ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਲਈ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ 3 ਪਿਆਰੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੇ ਸ਼ਹੀਦੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ। ਜੋ ਤੋ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਕਿਲਹਨ ਕਾ ਛਾਓ, ਸਿਰ ਤਰ ਤਲੀ ਗਲੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਆਓ, ਇਤਮਾਰਗ ਪੈਰ ਤਰੀਜੈ, ਸਿਰ ਦੀਜੈ ਕਾਣ ਨਾ ਕੀਜੈ। ਭਾਈ ਮਤੀ ਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਆਰਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਚਰਵਾਏ ਗਏ ਤੇ ਭਾਈ ਸਤੀ ਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਗਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾੜੇ ਗਏ ਤੇ ਭਾਈ ਦਿਆਲਾ ਜੀ ਗਰਮ ਪਾਣੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਬਾਲੇ ਗਏ। ਭਾਈ ਮਣੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਤੋਂ 52 ਚਾਚੇ, ਪੁੱਤਰੇ, ਭਰਾਵਾਂ ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਜੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਹੀਦੀ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਸੀ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਹੀਦੀ ਨੇ ਸਿਰਫ ਹਿੰਦੂਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਚਾਇਆ, ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਧਰਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਿਸ਼ਵਾਸ ਦਿਖਾਇਆ ਸੀ। ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਹੀਦੀ ਤੋਂ ਇਹ ਸਿੱਖ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਮਾੜਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਰੋਕਣਾ ਸਾਡੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਹੈ। ਮੁਗਲਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਸਿੱਖ ਕੌਮ ਕੋਈ ਕਮਜ਼ੋਰ ਕੌਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ। ਉਹ ਸੀਸ ਦੇਣ ਨੂੰ ਤਿਆਰ ਸਨ ਪਰ ਇਸਲਾਮ ਕਬੂਲ ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ। ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਕੁਰਬਾਨੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਢਾਲ ਸੀ। ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਦਿਖਾਇਆ ਤੇ ਸਿਖਾਇਆ। ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇਹ ਸਬਕ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕੋਈ ਬੁਰੇ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲਾ ਨੂੰ ਮੌਕਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਣਾ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਹਰਕਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰੋਕਣਾ ਸਾਡੀ ਫਰਜ਼ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਪਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਨ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਮਾੜਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਓ ਜਾਂ ਲੜਾਕੂ ਬਣ ਜਾਓ। ਫਰੀਦਾ ਬੁਰੇ ਦਾ ਭਲਾ ਕਰ, ਗੁੱਸਾ ਮਨ ਨਾ ਹਟਾਏ। ਹਰ ਵੇਲੇ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ। ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਸ਼ਾਂਤ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਜ਼ਾਲਮ ਨਾ ਮੰਨੇ, ਫਿਰ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਜਾਂ ਹਥਿਆਰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਚੌਕਰ ਅਜ਼ ਹਮੇ ਹੀਲਤੇ ਦਰ ਗੁਜ਼ਸ਼ਤ ਹਲਾਲ ਅਸਤ ਬਰਦਨ ਬੇ ਸ਼ਮਸ਼ੀਰ ਦਸਤ। ਇਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਲਿਖੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਫਰਮਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਨ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ। ਕਿਸੇ ਤੋਂ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਡਰ ਕਦੀ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਅੱਛਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੈ। ਜਾ ਤੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਲ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਕਿਆ ਮੋਹ ਛੰਦਾ, ਤੋ ਸਭ ਕੁਛ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੌਂਪਿਆ ਜਾ ਤੇਰਾ ਬੰਦਾ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
Next we have Veer Singh. Okay, we're moving on to Viraj Singh.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। Guru Pyare Sadh Sangat ji, what would you do if someone tried to take away your right to pray, your right to believe, your right to live freely? Would you bow your head in silence, or would you rise and stand tall for what is right? Over 300 years ago, Guru Tegh Bahadur ji gave us the answer. He chose to stand up. He chose sacrifice over silence. He gave his head, but never gave up his values. That's why the world remembers him as Hind di Chadar, the shield of India. When Emperor Aurangzeb tried to force Hindus to convert, Guruji stood not just for Sikhs, but for all people. He taught us that protecting others is the highest form of bravery. His sacrifice made sure that all people could live with dignity, no matter which religion they followed. By refusing to give in, Guruji made it clear that no ruler can control a person's heart or soul. Guru Gobind Singh Ji remembers this in Bichittar Natak. Taram hai saakajan kiya, शीश दिया पर सिर नहीं दिया. Guruji didn't stand alone. Many brave Sikhs followed his path. Bhai Mati Das ji, sawed alive while calmly meditating on Vaheguru. Bhai Dayala ji, boiled alive but unshaken. By Sati Dashi, burned alive while reciting God's name. Their bravery teaches us that all real strength is not in muscle or weapons. It is in faith, truth, and courage. As Sikh youth today, we don't face emperors, but we do face challenges. Bullying, peer pressure, social media negativity. But the Guru's message still applies. He taught, Pe kahu ko det neh pe manatan, kehu nanak sunre manna, gyani tahe bakhan. Guru Nanak says, listen, O my mind, only that person is known as truly wise, who neither frightens others nor fears anyone. That's not just a line. It's a way to live. Brave, honest, fearless, and always kind. Now, as I close, please remember this. History remembers kings and emperors, but Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is remembered as something greater, a protector of humanity. His sacrifice wasn't for wealth or fame. It was so others could live free, free to pray, free to speak, free to believe. The world still needs courage like his, not just on battlefields, but in our everyday actions. So Sikh youth today, we must ask ourselves, when we see wrong, will we stay quiet? Or will we rise, like Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji did? Let's promise today to live not in fear, but in truth. To stand not for ourselves, but for everyone. To carry forward the light of the Guruji, not just in books and speeches, but in our hearts and actions, every single day. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.
All right. Our last contestant is Yuvraj Singh.
Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji gave his life to protect the rights of others, even though they followed a different religion. He taught us what it means to stand up for justice and human dignity, not just for ourselves, but for everybody. His martyrdom reminds us that standing up for others, even in different times, is a powerful part of Sikh. How did he sacrifice and give up freedom for other people? Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh.
Wonderful job, everyone. Keep sitting. Let's see where we're going to go next.